Today we're going to talk about 4 tips for a kid-friendly space. Hello beautiful people, thank you so much for clicking to watch this video. If you're new here, my name is Sandy, and if you're coming back, then thank you so much for coming back. At the end of this video, if you like it, then please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram to stay connected with what I'm doing and updates on new videos. I also do polls on the kind of videos that you guys might want to see. I do that on Insta, so if you want to participate, then follow me so that you don't miss a thing. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to make your space friendly for kids, specifically 4 ways that you can change your space, or 4 things you can change about your space to just make it less kid dangerous. So first I want to talk about the different ways a space can be kid friendly. It can be kid friendly as far as durable finishes and durable furniture, so that they can hold up the wear and tear of the family, or they can be kid friendly in terms of safety, things that you don't want sharp objects and glass and such and things like that. If your kids are older, you're probably not so much worried about sharp corners or leaning objects that could fall or anything like that if they're like teenagers. But if they're younger, like a 4-year-old, then you might be concerned that they could knock something over and things like that. So consider which one is more important to you, the safety, the durable, and just take the information from this video and help you make any decisions about how you're going to make your space kid friendly. So the first thing you can do for your space is to make sure you get a round edge coffee table. So coffee tables will have, most of them are squares and rectangles, and they'll have really sharp corners that a toddler could run into. Even 7-year-olds are pretty rambunctious, 9-year-olds can even be really rambunctious, and they could hit their head on something, and you don't really want that. So consider getting things that have rounded out corners, or a fully round table in general. You could even swap it out for an ottoman that's upholstered and soft, so that way if someone does run into it, it's not as damaging as if it's a hard surface. And you would just use a tray to set on top of the ottoman so that you could put down hard surfaces like cups and plates and things like that. So the second thing is you want to avoid leaning mirrors. They're pretty heavy and they won't usually fall, but sometimes kids get really rambunctious, so or they get really curious and, oh, what's going on here? And you don't want to, have something fall on them. That would be really tragic. So just avoid leaning things that aren't specifically adhered to the wall. And if you are really going to choose to lean something, then I would recommend getting some kind of screw for the top part of it so that it looks like it's leaning, but it's actually really adhered to the wall, so that way it doesn't have the opportunity to fall on someone. So the third thing you want to avoid is glass. So no glass coffee tables. You may even want to avoid glass dining tables as well. One, they'll get smudgy. It's like smudge city. You'll be cleaning it all the time. But also because if the glass shatters for any reason, there will be shards everywhere, and that could be very dangerous. And lastly, the 4th thing is you want to make sure you have durable finishes for your furniture. So this is probably gonna have some subsections. There are different ways to have durable. Sometimes clients will say things like, oh well, my kids are gonna tear up the sofa, so I don't want to spend a lot of money on it because I know I'll just have to replace it. That, I think, is a backwards way of thinking. You actually want to invest more in your sofa if you have a lot of wear and tear that you're anticipating for the sofa to take on. You really want to get something good and durable and not cheap out on your sofa at all, because it's going to be used so often. So you'll be saving money in the long run by buying a $5,000 to $10,000 sofa than you would buying a $1,400 sofa or even $500 sofa or something like that, and that could cheap out on you. And you'll break it and you'll have to replace it. So I'm not saying you have to spend $5,000 to $10,000, just depends on your condition and your budget and such, but don't, as far as your budget for your space, that the sofa is definitely a place to invest, especially if you're anticipating it getting a lot of wear and tear. So when I say durable finishes, or durable, I mean durable upholstery. So you want things like, lots of brands have like performance fabrics, so like performance velvet is one, performance linen is one, and you may also want fabrics that have slip covers, so they have zippers, so that way you can take them off and wash them if someone spills on them, if the kid's tracking dirt or that kind of thing. Then you can easily wash it, and then it'll go back to being nice and new and clean again. You also want to avoid light colored things. So if you have white and beige and creams, those are not going to conceal stains as well as a darker fabric. So like a navy blue or a charcoal or a black, smoke kind of colors, or even a charcoal blue. Those darker colors are going to help conceal stains in a way that the lighter fabrics won't. But if you just have to have light fabrics, if you really like all white furniture, then get the performance fabrics. So that's, like I said, that's going to be your performance linens, or there's even performance velvet, which velvet seems like it's more of a delicate fabric, but there are brands like Interior Define, I will link their website down below, that has that performance velvet. Pottery Barn has performance everyday linen, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I'm going to link their website down below too. And Crate&Barrel has some performance fabrics as well that will, when you spill water on it, kind of just like rolls right off kind of thing, and it just really helps you keep up with your furniture, or help your furniture keep up looking nicer for longer than if you were to cheap out on your sofa and buy something like from IKEA that isn't going to really stand up to the wear and tear of a family. So another note on finishes, consider this for rugs too. You may want to look into jutes and wools instead of like shag carpeting, things like that. Shag is really comfy and it adds a lot of texture, but it is hard to clean. And when you drop something in shag carpeting, it's gone, it's done. You need like Nancy Drew and Sherlock Holmes to find whatever it was. So consider flat rugs. They're not as textured on the foot, but it'll really save you time and money as far as like replacing it, because you won't have to as much, and they're much easier to spot clean than something that has like a high pile rug. High pile means that the rug is like thick, really thick, and then low pile rugs have like a not as tall fabric threads are coming up out of it. And also look into leather and microfiber. Leather is a great fabric, I think, when you have kids, because stuff just rolls right off of it. You can clean it off. I have leather for my car, and I spilled Chipotle one time all over the passenger seat. And if I had had cloth seats, that would have been a nightmare. And it still was a nightmare, mainly because I really wanted to eat that Chipotle. Just a moment of silence for it. But because I had leather, I could really easily clean it off, wipe it up with some Lysol wipes, and now you can't even tell anything happened. Whereas if I had fabric seats, I'd have to probably get like a stain remover and that kind of thing. So leather is a really good option to look into. So that's it for today's video, guys. If you like this, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and follow me on Instagram so that we can stay connected. I will link my profile down below. And ultimately, don't forget to subscribe, all right? You wait till the end. You obviously like it. Put a ring on it. Just subscribe, just down below. Bye.